It's Monday. Bama men's basketball SEC tournament champions, the #1 seed in the big dance, the NCAA tournament. We're rocking and rolling right here on the hottest show on the streets, giving you that Bama football news in my own words. Yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Happy to have you all in here on today, checking out the show where we bring you the show from the Magic City of Birmingham. We stream this to you on YouTube. Speaking of a channel, go ahead right now, stop what you're doing, hit that subscribe button, smash subscribe right now. Get every friend, every family member, every diehard Bama fan, casual Bama fan, consumer of Tide football to subscribe as well, because if you're feeling the content, they will also. Don't forget to like the show too. Tap the like button, give us that thumbs up, run those likes up right there. Do what you do, making this your show, your network, platform, channel, and space to talk Bama football. All donations welcome and appreciated. That daily super chat to go $100. Daily super chat to go $100 right there. We appreciate you guys. Turn on those post notifications, hit that little bell so that way you miss nothing when it comes to Bama football. We got a lot to get into, Elon. We want you, the fans, to be a part of the show. You can do this by calling 205-448-1358, the number to call in to let your voice be made known, 205-448-1358. And one more time, 205-448-1358. Like I mentioned, yes, we talk football mostly, but you gotta be proud of Nate Oates and Alabama men's basketball. I mean, in 4 years with Nate Oates so far, 2 SEC regular season titles, 2 SEC tournament titles. He's already made it deep in the NCAA tournament. He made it to the Sweet 16 with Herb Jones, John Petty, Alex Reese, and that group. This group, looking like Final Four national championship group. Bama, 29 wins on the season. They got the #1 seed in the South bracket. But we start off today's show, Eli, with assistant coaches for Bama football got that bag. And I ain't talking about that biggie bag from Wendy's. I'm talking about that money bag for these assistant coaches for Alabama. Today, according to the University of Alabama Board of Trustees, athletic director Greg Byrne in there as well, the assistant coaches for the Crimson Tide football program, they got their money. A lot of the new contracts were approved. Several coaches got pay raises. 2 coaches pulled in the big check. And that has you thinking, okay, can Alabama really get back to dominant football this upcoming season and years to come because of said coaches that pulled in the big check? And the coaches I'm referring to, Tommy Rees and Kevin Steele, come on down. We talking big bank, take little bank? I mean, these coaches brought it in. Tommy Rees, as the offensive coordinator, 3-year deal. His deal will be through February 2026. Tommy Rees will start off at $1.9 million, but will cap off at $2.1 million. Who was the last offensive coordinator for Alabama to get a $2 million ticket? Tommy Rees is the first one. Steve Sarkisian went pocketing this money. Lane Kiffin went pocketing this. Michael Locksley went pocketing this. Brian Dable went pocketing this. Tommy Rees is the first one. There's a lot of expectation when it comes to Tommy Rees. Where this offense is concerned, producing a quarterback is concerned, I have expectation here on Tommy Rees. We'll start off at $1.9 million, but we'll balloon to $2.1. And then Kevin Steele, $1.9 million, defensive coordinator. Don't think Kirby Smart was getting this money. Don't think Jeremy Pruitt was getting this money. We know for well sure Pete Golden wasn't getting this money. So Kevin Steele, $1.9 million. So Coach Saban thinking, hey, this better work. I mean, the Board of Trustees has approved Tommy Rees, approved Kevin Steele. They got the big payday. But The coaches' names on screen here, these were all the ones that got the big pay raises. You look at Holman Wiggins' pay raise, wide receivers coach. Joe Cox, pay raise. I think his pay raise was over $100,000 as he went up from $325,000 to $425,000. David Ballou, director of sports performance, got a pay raise in there. Eric Wolford, offensive line coach, got a pay raise in there. Robert Bama, new inside linebackers coach, will make $350,000. And then, of course, you've got Coleman Hutzler, outside linebackers coach, $595,000. He did not move. He stayed at his same spot there. But several of these coaches got bumps in the pay, got the raises there. The only coach that did not get a pay raise would be Coleman Hutzler. Robert Bama, just newly hired, will start off at $350,000 a year. But going back to what I mentioned about Nick Saban, he's looking at this coaching staff going, this better work. Board of Trustees have shoved out the money. Pen has been put to paper. The ink has dried. The bag has been passed around. Everybody got the money. Everybody got the money. Break me off a big piece of that stack. Tommy Rees and Kevin Steele. We'll see what happens, especially now with spring ball kicking off next week, March 20th. You're back out there starting the journey, trying to get back to a national championship. Eli, I think you and I are in the wrong profession. I think you and I, we could just look at Joe Cox's contract of $425. We would take that. I mean, we would look at Robert Bala's contract at $350,000. We'd take that. I had to go call my old high school and become a high school coach again and just rise my way through the ranks, Become a coach, man. Coaches get into that money. Evan Steele, $1.9 million. Tommy Rees, $2.1 million. Yeah, I'm in the wrong profession. We're going to take our first break here on the show, folks. Don't touch that dial. When we get back in from the break, we're going to go to your phone. We're going to go to the phone lines. We're going to take your calls, your thoughts, your conversations. We get into a dialogue with you, the Bama fans, right after this.
Nine players have teamed up and released the Alabama Team Paper, which is a video yearbook they've put out for sale direct to fans. Now, for the first time, small dollar purchases from the fans can support the players as a group as well as a great cause, because $1 of every subscription payment is donated to the Boys and Girls Club of America. Be a 5-star fan base and support your team and a great cause with Team Paper. Check it out at teampaper.com/Alabama.
Remember the taste of Grandma's delicious sweets? Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes brings back those precious memories with just one bite. Each cake made from scratch. They make the perfect dessert to share with family and friends for any occasion, and ordering is easy. Visit emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Click the online store and shop. Then pick up your fresh cake at the kitchen in downtown Homewood. Order yours online at emily'sheirloompoundcakes.com. Emily's Heirloom Pound Cakes, making memories from scratch.
All right, folks, we're back in here, rocking and rolling to the action from the break on a Monday. Hottest show on the streets, talking Bama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Continue hitting that like button, tapping that subscribe button. All donations welcome and appreciated right here. Tomorrow, 6 p.m. Central Time, streaming right here on TDA's YouTube channel. You know what time it is. We got the Bama Standard with Justin Riley, comedy legend Steve Brown, all SEC linebacker, Bama legend Marvin Constant, USFL champion, two-time national champion Bo Scarborough. Yours truly, Stephen Smith, the Bama Standard. You don't want to miss it. Tomorrow, guys are working on getting former Alabama quarterback Blake Sims on the show, so you don't want to miss that conversation with one Blake Sims. Also wants to get a big congratulations to Alabama men's basketball SEC tournament champions, punching the number 1 seed to the NCAA tournament. Also, big ups to Christy Curry, Alabama women's basketball, dancing as well. going into the NCAA tourney. So all parts of basketball doing their thing there. But we go to the phone lines to grab your calls. The call segment brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. But I'm going to call in. We'll take this call. You're live on the show. What's happening, how we feel, and state your name and where you calling from.
What's up, Steven? It's your boy No Owens from Virginia. How you, my man?
Doing good, and yourself?
I'm doing all right. Hey, Steven, who's take Will Anderson Jr. spot this year coming up?
Well, that would be Chris Braswell, number 41, Braswell, who's now at 255 pounds. That's him.
Catch your own question, Steven.
Go ahead.
Who will take Bryce's spot? Does that be James Monroe?
It could be Milroe. It could be Ty Simpson. And that question will be answered spring ball. Appreciate my man Noah right there. But spring ball, which starts on March 20th next week, we get out there. We see what Tommy Rees can put together. We will see. Now, I know Jalen Milroe, he posted a picture to his Instagram saying, Lord forgive them. They don't know what they do. I guess what Jalen Milroe saying is, I got some stirred up. I got something ready to show the world. So this is going to be a very fun quarterback situation moment right here this spring between Milroe and Ty Simpson. But we grab this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
See, when I told you we'd meet back here on Monday with the SEC tournament, we got the trophy, number 1 seed. Boy, I'm proud of the men's basketball team. I want to see them. I want to see them win the championship, NCAA championship.
Waylon, they got a shot because if you look at the South bracket that they're in, they've got West Virginia, Maryland in that bracket, and then the winner of Texas A&M Community College and Southeast Missouri. I mean, just looking at the optics here, Bama should run through that bracket to the Final Four. They should run through that bracket to the Final Four. Now, once they hit the Final Four, whoever they face there, be tough, but I look at when this team is on, they are a tough out for anybody when they're on.
Yeah, they play better away from home than they do at home, seems like. But we want to remember Mr. James Wilson III here. He passed away at 59. He was a good friend of mine. He helped get him and his father helped get the Galleria built there in Hoover, and he was also on the board of trustees there at the University of Alabama, and he was the president of the University of Alabama over the hospital authority. So we want to remember him. That he was a great man. He always loved the common man. He knew how to talk to everybody. He was a great businessman. He loved Alabama football. So, but we got to get down there. And who are we going to play Thursday night? Do we have any idea who we might play Thursday night, Stephen?
Okay, so I think, Wagon, we play the winner. Bama plays the winner of Texas A&M Community College and Southeast Missouri. So whoever wins that matchup in the play-in game, then that winner takes on Alabama to start the tournament.
Well, we need to get off on a good foot. We need to get a good win, a dominant win. We need to get a dominant win, build confidence, and then keep rolling that way. And it's to keep everything rolling here. But all right, it's Monday. I hope all y'all have a great week. I may be out the rest of the week, may be out a couple of weeks here. Y'all keep the show rolling. I got a few things I got to do here, so y'all know how to keep this the hottest show on the street, hottest show on YouTube, greatest show on earth. I love all y'all. Y'all be safe. We'll be back in a few days here. Bye-bye, everyone.
Appreciate the president, Waylon, checking in here on a Monday. And, Eli, you and I were talking before the show. Those tickets for the NCAA tournament, those are some high-priced tickets. And the first couple of rounds will be in Birmingham, right here. Those are some high-priced seats. Now, if those tickets were lower, then I would be enticed to check out a few games here in Birmingham. I would be if the price was lower. But the price is not lower, so I will be doing what most people will be doing, which is watching from TV. Because those tickets are, man, that's an arm, a leg, 2 thighs, a wing. Forget all that. We're going to take this call here. You're live on the show. What's happening? What's going on? State your name and where you calling from.
What's up, Steven? It's Chris with Ballard Sports Media. Good to hear from Waylon all the time. I love everybody over here.
Absolutely, Chris. And, Alabama basketball, SEC tournament champion, second time under Nate Oates in 4 years. I mean, you get the number one seed out of a South bracket. You have a pretty good bracket to make your way to the Final Four. I mean, the women's team under Christy Curry, they make the NCAA tournament. If you're an Alabama fan, you got to be pinching yourself. I mean, basketball's doing it.
Yeah, man, I never thought, in my lifetime, like, first off, I know there's a lot of people out there that never thought that Saban's done with the football program. But now to see what Nate Oates is doing, it's incredible, man. I mean, it's just like, are we dreaming or is this actually real?
I mean, it's nuts because I remember when Coach Oates in basketball, they won the SEC tournament a couple of years back with Herb Jones and John Petty and Alex Reese, and Nate Oates said, "Hey, we're a championship school." And he said that, and everybody jumped on top of him because they were like, "Yeah, Nate Oates, championship school. We love that, man. We love that." But Nate Oates truly believed that, and you could see that once again happening here, where you get back to the SEC tourney, you dominate the entire tourney, you win, you get the number one seed, and with the bracket that you're in, the South bracket, you can literally run this sucker to the Final Four. You can literally run this all the way to the Final Four. And granted, whoever you face in that Final Four, should you get there, it's going to be tough. But I look at when this Bama team is on, it is very difficult to slow this team down.
Yeah, absolutely. So also I wanted to ask about Kendrick Blackshear. What about a player like him on Alabama's team? And, I'm curious if he'll probably get some playing time this year.
Well, that's going to lead us into, actually, Chris, our second topic of conversation. It's Blackshear's time. This is his time. This is his time to go out here and prove it and show what he can do. And I remember when he came in the 2021 class, built like a transformer. I mean, when he walked into this program, we all thought, holy cow, who was that? And where was he created? And we all thought, this is not human. This guy's an android. Like, where was he built at? And so now that we saw last year, Deontay Lawson showed what he can do, and him earning Coach Saban's trust there. Can Blackshear do this in spring ball, and we could get Lawson and Blackshear as your two inside linebackers? This spring is Blackshear's time to show it.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for always taking my call. I love you guys. I love what you do, and I love me some Alabama athletics, man. Roll Tide.
Absolutely. My man Chris Ballard, Sports Media, calling right there out of Coleman. I mean, if you're an Alabama fan, this is a very exciting time for you right now. I mean, especially when you look at all that's going on. But we're going to take this call here. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Steve was good as G from Raleigh.
What's happening, man?
What's good with you? Hey, look, I've been meaning to get back with you, but I wanted to let all the smoke clear. You know, we got a new DC, a new OC. The phone line been ringing, but the verdict is out. And me and you I asked you about this before. What's the deal with Sal Sinceri? We all got the bad news about that. I really want to know what played into us letting Sal go in spite of all three of our outside linebackers had a drop last year. What played a part in us letting Sal go? Like I said, and all of them took a step back. Even Braswell. Cheetah package never worked. Whatever they call it, cheetah rifle, whatever they call it, it didn't work. So why we let Sal go with no production proven?
Well, here's the thought right here. So when I was told, Sal never wanted to come off the field. Sal wanted to stay on the field. He never wanted to come off. And I don't know if there was just something internally wrong inside the program, but Saban pushed him, off the field. And I never could quite understand that, because if you look at Sal's an old school, hard-nosed coach, and the players love him. And you talk about the outside linebackers that really, truly produced under him. We're looking at guys like Courtney Upshaw, guys like, Donta Hightower, guys like Xavier Dixon, guys like Adrian Hubbard, guys like Terrell Lewis, Anthony Jennings, even down to Will Anderson, his freshman and sophomore year, was eating with Sal Sunseri. I mean, Dallas Turner, his freshman year, what he had, like 8 sacks, eating with Sal Sunseri. So
it's his game.
Right, it's his game. And I don't understand why the move was made to put Sal off the field. He didn't want to go off the field. He made it known he didn't want to go off the field. And I was told Sal does not want to go off the field. But they push Sal off. You bring in Coleman Hutzler, which, no disrespect to Hutzler, but you can just see the numbers drop on Will, the numbers drop on Dallas Turner, the numbers drop on Chris Braswell, because Coleman Hutzler, he ain't Sal Sunseri. Sal is a proven coach. He's a proven original. He's a proven dude. So you don't let proven guys just walk out. You don't let proven guys off the field when they want to be on the field. So that, to me, G, is still a head-scratcher, because Sal never wanted to leave the field.
Yeah, I mean, I like I said, I don't understand it with the lack of production. And I'm going to give a guy a little slack when it comes to that pass rush. The pass rush wasn't the same. Yeah. But we also lack in run integrity with the same players. So we all know the sacks are pretty, but the outside containing wasn't there this year.
And that's what Sal specializes in.
Every outside linebacker he coached went pro. So I don't know what the issue was. And that, I almost want to say they all went and had a shot. Like you say, even down to Hubbard. What's the Anthony Jennings?
Yeah.
I think the only guy he coached that ain't get a fair shot might be Denzel DeVall, but I think Ball came out with a knee. So if we talk about a guy who done sent the jack and the wheel to at least tryouts, at least special teams, I'm gonna tell you one thing. I don't know what's up with Saban when it comes to, like, I'm not questioning his loyalty. I don't know what's up with him with the guys who originally started. Because I'm gonna throw another wrench in here. I'm gonna let you talk to somebody else. But I feel, Roach is a good recruiter, but the D-line hasn't been the same since Roach has been in charge. That's just a fact. I've been watching this thing since Chris Rumpf. The D-line has not been the same with Freddie in charge. Like I said, he's probably an ace recruiter. Holtzer's an ace recruiter. But I really feel, I'm going to say this, I'm going to let you go. I think I said it before last time I talked to you. I would have made every decision based off Bryce Young. The D-line ain't playing good. Bryce Young needs an excellent D-line. Freddie, you got to go. All right, you better give me a nose guard. And I think we could have won it last year, to be honest, with what we had the issues, even with Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien still called tricky good plays in moments because he got Bryce. I really feel we lost last year because the up front D-line, the outside linebackers, and middle linebackers won't impose their will on nobody. I think that really what's been hurting us the last couple of years is the D-line and the outside linebackers ain't whooping ass no more, D. I'm going to let you go, big dog.
Appreciate G for calling in right there out of Raleigh, North Carolina. Now, in my opinion, this is how I probably would have done this thing in terms of the coaching staff. I would have kept Sal. You could move. You could have taken Sal, right? You could have taken Sal, and maybe here's what they could have did. You could have taken Sal, right, and moved Sal to D-line coach for Alabama, and then bumped Freddie to outside linebackers coach, and I think that could have worked. You could have put Sal with the defense, because Sal would have had them defensive linemen right. He would have had them right. You could have had Sal, D-line coach, because that's what he's coaching now at Colorado. He's coaching defensive tackles. So you could have had Sal, D-line coach, because Freddie played linebacker at Alabama. So you could have had Freddie outside linebackers coach, Sal, defensive line coach. At your inside linebackers coach, you could stay right there with Robert Bala or have Kevin Steele do both. I mean, but you could have found some way to keep Sal Sunseri on the field, but he's in Colorado. That one still kind of stings. That one still kind of stings me. But we take this call here. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Oh, man, how's it going? This is a first-time call. I'm Kyle from Wetumpka, Alabama.
Kyle, what's happening, man?
Man, I just wanted to get on here and talk about how excited I am for this team and this new staff we got. There's a few key points I want to hit and talk about. This me versus we mentality. You know, in this new day and age, and I'm around these players' ages myself, so I can kind of see where they're coming from, but it's all about, you know, these new NIL deals and stuff, and you know, it's not so much about that team camaraderie, and I think we need to get back to more team bonding. I'm seeing that with Clinton Dix. I'm liking that. Another key thing I want to talk about is, you know, what are we going to do about Georgia? What are they doing so well that we're struggling with? And what my thoughts on that is, you know, Kirby's in the business of building dogs. You know, Saban's kind of always traditionally been, you know, putting a certain emphasis on trusting players based on being responsible, being, you know, a good teammate, going to speaking at schools. You know, Saban is debatedly stepping on his toes by, you know, maybe excluding some guys that have more skill, you know, whereas I think Kirby, he's just putting them dogs in.
And I think also, Kyle, another thing that Georgia's done is they've kept things simple. And I look at, you know, the last few years with Alabama, especially on defense, Pete Golding tried to outthink the room. And when you try to outthink the room and outsmart the room, you tend to do more harm than good. When I look at Kirby Smart, Will Muschamp, that whole staff, they keep things simple, they keep things fundamental, and they just tell their guys, hey, you know what you came here for. Go around, have fun, knock people's heads off their body, do what you came here to do. And I think the players at Georgia have responded to that by going around there, running around, knocking people's heads off because there's not so much information being put on Georgia players, especially defensively, versus Alabama players.
Right. And, you know, I hope we get back to that traditional Alabama defense of, you know, where we've been, I'd say, previous of 2020. And that shook the whole atmosphere up of college football itself, you know. And, but yeah, man, I hope we do away with these fancy-looking mouthpieces and get back to, you know, elbows and assholes.
Absolutely. Appreciate Kyle calling in right there from Wetumpka. And Kyle made a good point there. The me versus we mentality. That's number one. If you can get more guys pulling together instead of one guy pulling this way, one guy pulling that way, people trying to do their own thing, that's important. But I think number two is the coaching staff holding players accountable, the leadership players holding players accountable, and then simplifying things once it gets on the field. You know, you don't, at the end of the day, and I'm going to take this, Christian Miller, former Alabama linebacker, he said this on the Bama Standard, and he was absolutely correct about this. Christian Miller said, we've fallen so much in love with analytics and data, but at the end of the day, football's a simple game. You beat the person in front of you. Football's a very simple game. You beat up the person in front of you. So if Alabama can just get back to the simple, it's just the simple. That's the big thing. Get back to the simple. But cool call topic right here, people, and that does go to Alabama men's basketball. They did it, boy! Nate Oates, Crimson Tide, SEC tournament champions, second time in 4 years under Nate Oates. They took care of it. Blew out Texas A&M to win the title. Boy, can we just switch the month of March out and just put Quinterly? It could be January, February, Quinterly, because March JQ is real JQ. Javon Quinterly in the month of March, he's been on fire. 3-point range, attacking the basket, running the offense, playing defense, having fun. I mean, we talk Brandon Miller, and for obvious reasons, but Charles Bediako, Chucky's a man. Chucky's a man, blocking shots left and right. What do you average, 12 points a game throughout the tournament? I mean, Bediako's a man. Clowney's playing big ball. Gurley's playing big ball. Bradley's playing big ball. Mark Sears, at times, I don't like him to be so much 3-point trigger happy, but Sears does good work. So, I mean, any of these guys can beat you. There's depth, there's chemistry, there's camaraderie, they trust each other. What a job. What a job. Alabama men's basketball, SEC tournament champions. Looking forward to seeing how far they go in the NCAA tournament. But we'll take a break right here, folks, and touch that down. When we get back, we discuss the inside linebacker competition. Deontay Lawson showed Coach Saban, hey, you can trust me at one of these two spots last season. Who will be the guy to step up and join Lawson at the other potential inside backer spot? We'll talk about it after this.
Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
This is Matt Caddell, former Alabama wide receiver, and you're listening to In My Own Words with Stephen M. Smith with Touchdown Alabama Magazine. And I got 2 words to say, baby. Roll Tide.
All right, folks, we're back in, rocking and rolling right here on a Monday to the action from the break. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Got the man, the Wonder Kid. Well, I can't call him the Wonder Kid no more. He's a veteran now. We got Eli Walker in the production studio, handling business there from behind the scenes. Continue to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Also, make this your place to talk Bama football. All donations welcome and appreciated right here on the show. That daily super chat go, $100 right there. $100 daily super chat go. But we look at Eli, the inside linebacker position for Alabama. Spring practice getting turned up March 20th, that being next week. And you start the journey to a national championship next week in spring ball. The inside linebacker is the leader of the defense. So you got to make sure that both of those spots, middle linebacker, weak side linebacker, you got the right players in those spots, because that position has been one where, Alabama fans have been wondering, can we get back to having the Rolando McClain, the C.J. Mosleys, the Nico Johnsons, the Reggie Raglins, the Reuben Fosters, the Rashawn Evans, the Sean Dion Hamiltons? Can we get back to having those types of players in those respective spots? And for Alabama, last year, Deontay Lawson showed you a little something out of Mobile. He showed you a little something. Did have 51 tackles. Did have quite a few tackles for loss. In the Sugar Bowl against Kansas State, he was flying all over the field. He earned Nick Saban's trust. Coach Saban talked about it. Lawson growing with confidence, growing with swagger, knows how to play his position, confident in his role. So Deontay Lawson did enough to say, hey, Coach Saban, look at me, I'm ready. He earned Coach Saban's trust, which is what you want to do. So with that being said, we can kind of pencil Lawson at one of those two spots. Whether it's Mike, whether it's Will, you can pencil him at one of those two inside backer spots. I think, in my opinion, he's done enough to at least be considered in one of those two spots. Now, the other guy that would play next to him, that's the question. Who's the guy that's ready to take it to be next to Lawson? And there are several names here that'll be competing for this. Kendrick Blackshire is right there. Fans are ready. It's Blackshire's time. Is he ready to do it now? Jahad Campbell had a very good bowl prep leading up to the Kansas State game. Campbell, a former 5-star. People are looking at him. Sean Murphy, former 5-star, came out of Virginia. 2021, Butkus Award winner out of high school. He was another one that had a really good bowl prep. It'd be him. You have Justin Jefferson out of JUCO, a guy that's 215 pounds. He's going to have to add some weight to his frame, get to that SEC weight, but he does run a verified 4.38 40. That's something like right there. Can Justin Jefferson add the weight? We'll have to see. You look at Tresman Marshall, transfer from Georgia, who comes in at 6'1", 230 pounds. Now he's bringing over 2 national championships from the Bulldogs. Last year, had 19 tackles, played in 14 to 15 games as a reserve linebacker. He brings that championship pedigree, that mindset, toughness, physicality, coming over from Kirby Smart's group. Can Tresman Marshall get out here? Hey, you look at Ian Jackson. People have been waiting on Ian to do something. He came in that 2020 class, if not mistaken, 2021. They've been waiting on Ian. Is it finally Ian's time? We're going to have to see. And then you got Quay Russaw, the physically imposing freshman from Carver High School. But starting this thing off with Kendrick Blackshire, at 6'2", 233 pounds out of Duncanville High School, when I watched his high school tape, Eli, I was like, good Lord, what is his grandmother feeding him? Dude built different. Shoulders built different. Calf muscles built different. Everything about him built different. And I'm thinking, he gets his hands on you, you might as well just call the paramedics. You ain't getting up off the ground, period. And I've said this before. To me, this is the love child of Reuben Foster and Mack Wilson. And I'm not coming off of that. The love child of both of those two inside linebackers. He's got the potential to be the next superstar at that role. But Alabama fans are waiting on is now the time, is now the moment. He's got to show this now. Because he's got 2 young guns nipping on his heels, and those 2 young guns are Jahad Campbell and Sean Murphy. Both of these 2 are 5-stars. Both of these 2 are really, really good. Both of these 2 have a lot of potential. Both of these 2 want to see the field. Like I said, they both performed extremely well in the bowl prep. They both got to play against Kansas State. So Blackshire's got to do this now, or these 2 cats right here are nipping on the heel and could take it. Or, like I said, could we see a transfer grab the spot? We saw Henry To'o come in from Tennessee as a transfer in 2021 and took the starting inside linebacker job, took the starting Michael linebacker position. When you look at Justin Jefferson, Tresman Marshall, which one of these 2 as a transfer could walk right on into Tuscaloosa and take that job? Which one of these 2? If I had to pick one, I would definitely go Tresman Marshall. But which one of these 2 can come in here with the experience that they have and take this job? And then when you look at Quay Russaw, who comes in as the biggest inside linebacker in the room at 240 pounds? Like our own Justin Smith, the director of scouting and recruiting here at TDA, spent a lot of time around Russaw. He a different cat too. So does he walk in here and as a freshman goes, bypass all of y'all, it's mine, and just takes it from everybody. Which he's capable of doing that. He is highly capable of doing that, but does he do it? Deontay Lawson, you can pencil him as one of the two inside backers. But the other two, the other one, my money would be on Kendrick Blackshire. I think it's his time now. But Sean Murphy, Jahad Campbell, Tresman Marshall, Justin Jefferson, Quay Russaw, they coming. Spring is going to be fun. Which one of these guys can impress Saban enough with the consistency, with their style of play, and with their performance each practice to get this second inside backer job? Spring ball is going to be fun to document this. But we take our break right here, folks. Don't touch that dial, people. When we get back, we return to the phone lines. We're going to grab your calls, your thoughts, your conversations. Light us up, people. What's on your mind? We'll talk about it after this.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care in support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
All right, we're back in here, people, to the action on a Monday, giving you your Alabama football news. In my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Folks, continue tapping the like button. Hit that thumbs up. Get those like levels up right there. We appreciate that. Hit subscribe as well to the channel, making this your show to discuss Crimson Tide football. All donations welcome and appreciated. That daily Super Chat go, $100. Daily Super Chat go, $100 right there. But we go to the phone lines to grab your calls. The call segment is brought to you by the Blue Wrench Gang, 205-448-1358. The number to call in, 205-448-1358. We grab this call. You're live on the show. What's happening? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
What's going on, Steve? Elijah from Jersey. How you feeling tonight?
Man, Elijah, I'm doing fantastic, man. Bama men's basketball, SEC tournament champs, #1 seed in the Big Dance. You can't beat it.
Yeah, they doing their thing this year, man. I'm real proud of them. It's been a long time coming for that team to turn it around the way they did this year. But
yeah.
I just go ahead.
I was saying, yeah. I mean, for the first time in over 2 decades, for the first time since the Wimp Sanderson era, you got a team that, everybody can really, truly get behind. Now, Avery Johnson had a couple of teams that were good. Anthony Grant had some decent teams. But here is one under Nate Oates that, man, I can really get behind these boys.
Yeah, very, very true. I just flew back into Jersey from Alabama yesterday. I was down there at my house since last Wednesday. And I had a very interesting conversation with a couple friends of mine down there talking about the same topic, the inside linebacker group. One of the things was, a lot of people put a lot of focus on size. Size this, you need to be this, that to stop the run. Well, if you recall, Reuben Foster's the last year he played at Alabama, Reuben Foster actually trimmed weight. He came down to about 220 pounds. And he said it made him a more aggressive and dynamic player on the field, not carrying around 240 pounds. He was able to run sideline to sideline much better. To me, Stephen, I always come with these off-the-wall things, and some people agree with it, some people don't. But I would go into this camp not even having two starting linebackers because I feel like it's not what's below the neck that makes you a great linebacker. It's your mentality of from the shoulders up. You know, if you think about it, you remember back in the day, Steve, they had that movie called The Program, that college football team.
Right, yeah.
You remember that? If you
Yeah.
remember the mentality of that guy that was playing middle linebacker, he basically told you, kill everything. Kill everything. Anything out there moving, you destroy it.
He had that Marvin Constant mindset.
Yes, kill everything. Now, and it might just be my personal opinion, Steve, we got too many damn rocket scientists out there on the field. We need to go back to that old school, can hardly read, can hardly write, but you know how to play football. We just want them gangsters out there in that middle linebacker spot. Be like Andy Katzenmoyer from Ohio State. Let him major in basket weaving and badminton. But as long as he know how to decapitate you out on that field, that's what we need. And somewhere down this pipeline, Steve, we have lost that. From, like you said before, from the Reggie Raglins, the C.J. Mosleys, the Reuben Fosters, those guys, Sean Deion Hamiltons. If you notice, those guys all came right behind each other. One guy taught the other. Big brother taught little brother. Somewhere in these last few years, Steve, that has gotten severed. That line has gotten severed where, you know what? We're not having the same intensity. The tradition of the middle linebacker play has been lost. And I don't know where it stopped at. I personally think it stopped with Dylan Moses, Mac Wilson. I just believe with those guys, Alabama lost its run stopping ability for some reason. I don't know what it is.
I'll say this, Elijah. I think it stopped. I think the trend stopped. The reach one, teach one. I think that stopped in 2017 because Sean Deion and Rashawn both taught Dylan Moses. They taught Dylan Moses when Dylan was a freshman. That was 2017. And I think after 2017, you didn't see the next inside linebacker really truly pull a young guy to the side and develop him and show him the ropes and grow him, or really take that inside linebacker to the film room and teach him how to watch film, how to break down plays, how to sort of set things in motion. Because prior to 2017, and you're right, prior to 2017, whether it was Rolando McClain or C.J. Mosley, Reuben Foster, each one of those older guys, they would seek out who's the next big talent. They would bring that guy to them. Hey, I'm going to take you under my wing on the field. I'm going to take you under my wing off the field. I'm going to take you under my wing in the film room. So by the time I leave this place, you set to go. And you did, I think after 2017, when Sean Deion and Rashawn did that for Dylan Moses, it dropped off after that.
Because it seemed like these guys drinking too much Poland Springs, Steve. Let them go out there and drink out that old rusty water hose. You know what I mean? That old spigot that's attached to the side of the building. Let them get that old rust in their system, because they just play too nice now, Steve. I want that aggressive, old school, run through a wall linebacker. You can still run sideline to sideline, but just to shorten this call up, Steve, I believe all these guys, because they need to be on trial, all of them. I won't go into this Deontay Thompson. I mean, he had some bright spots, but to be a consistent linebacker, to say he has a spot there, or he should, I wouldn't go that far to do that. What I would do is put all them guys in the best ones, make them battle it out. The best ones come to the top, because it's time for it to change. These linebackers now, Steve, and I'm not going to criticize a lot of these new guys because they don't have the field experience. So it's unfair to criticize them. But from what I've been seeing for the last few years, it's not the traditional linebackers. We need to get that old mean, the program type of linebacker where if you come across the middle, that's it for you. And I think once we get back to that, and Kevin Steele could bring that type of energy back to the program. But, man, like always, Steve, I appreciate you taking my call, man. You have a good one.
Appreciate Elijah from Jersey calling in there. And I think having Kevin Steele back in the program, getting Charlie Strong back as an analyst, and then, of course, you've got Nick Saban, you've got Robert Bama, all these minds in here. That inside linebacker room should get back right. It should. It should get back right, but this is why spring football is fun. We're going to get to see once and for all, does Alabama have the go-getters at both inside linebacker positions? This spring is going to begin to take us behind the curtain to see this here. But we grabbed this call. You're live on the show. What's going on? How we feeling? State your name and where you calling from.
Hey, this is Corey from Trussville, Alabama. How are you doing tonight, Stephen?
Corey, I am doing fantastic, my man. You got Bama men's basketball, SEC tournament champions, #1 seed in the NCAA tournament. Looking forward to seeing, can Nate Oates and the guys bring this on home?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be interesting to see how we navigate this bracket because it won't be the easiest thing in the world, but I think there is a way to do it.
I think so, Corey. When I looked at the South bracket today, and you see Maryland on there. Maryland's a good team. You see Maryland on there. You see West Virginia on there. And, of course, you got the play-in game between Texas A&M Community College and Southeast Missouri State. The winner of that game would take on Alabama. So, I mean, the South region is doable for Alabama to make a run in. My thing would be if Bama can get to the Final Four, which they have a shot to do so, once they reach the Final Four, who would they face? Because the other #1 seeds, I think Kansas is in there, Duke is in there, a lot of teams are in there. But if Bama can get to the Final Four, who would they face?
I know this will be very hard to do, and it's out of our control, but would it be best for Alabama if Houston can be eliminated as quickly as possible?
Say it again. I couldn't hear that last part there, Corey.
Would it be best for Alabama if Houston is eliminated as quickly as possible?
Let's see here. I mean, to me, I feel like if it's going to be hard, but I feel like this team can get to the Final Four because of #1, when they're on, especially from three-point range, this is a very difficult team to beat. And in the SEC tourney, I think Bama grew up where if the three is not falling, don't panic, put the ball on the floor, attack the paint, get to the free throw line, and then try to get back to the three. We saw Charles Bediako grow up in this tournament. I mean, the guy had averaged 11 to 12 points per game, averaged 3 to 4 blocks per game. So we saw Chucky grow up some. So to me, I feel like for Bama, if the three ball is falling throughout the whole tournament, fantastic. But if you hit a struggle area, don't panic, put the ball on the floor and drive. I think if this team is on the way it has been, it should make the Final Four.
I'm going to ask you a football question here. How much in 2023, and I know spring practice hasn't started yet, but how much is there a gap between Georgia and Alabama right now as far as their talent level with us competing for a championship? Because Georgia's trying to three-peat, and we're trying to get back to the national championship. Like, is the gap that much bigger? Because they're returning some pieces too, and we don't have as many pieces returning. Is the gap big, or is it not that big?
I don't think it's that big. Talent for talent, Georgia and Alabama recruit the same type of talent. So talent for talent, the gap's not that big at all. I think coaching-wise, Kirby's got a general or two more on his staff than Alabama does. But with Bama bringing back Kevin Steele, that was huge. With Alabama bringing back Charlie Strong as an analyst, that was huge. With Alabama getting Tommy Rees on staff offensively, I thought that was a sneaky big get right there. And I think going on behind the scenes with where Jeremy Pruitt is concerned, I still think, without being told, he returns as an analyst somewhere between July and August. So I look at if Saban hits on the coaches he's brought back, which I think that he will hit on these coaches, I think that puts Alabama right back there, national championship. I think talent-wise, pound for pound, Georgia and Alabama, they recruit the same kids.
Yeah, I would agree. When you look at team by team comparison, we don't know who quarterback is. That they don't either, but they kind of have an idea. Maybe they have a better. You would think they would have a better receiving core because they have Brock Bowers and we don't. I mean, nobody has a Brock Bowers. Running game is probably equal, although we probably have deeper running back. But Georgia always has running backs. Defense, they probably have a better front seven because that's what Kirby Smart's known for having, is a good front seven. Us probably talent-wise probably a better secondary, but an unproven secondary. Of course, when you always have Will Reichard, you always have a deadly weapon. So it's about equal. It's just some of the parts that we're looking for are going to have to replace them, meaning the players that left for the draft and graduated. But it's going to come down to Alabama and Georgia, probably the East and the West. And I know Alabama's going to be chomping at the bit to beat Georgia in Atlanta because I know it just stings Nick Saban having to see Georgia win 2 national championships. Even though Kirby and Nick are really good friends, I just know it burns Nick Saban that seeing Kirby win 2 national championships, and even though Nick Saban doesn't listen to media, he knows somebody's in his ear telling him that Kirby and Georgia have passed Alabama. That's just I know he doesn't like that one bit.
I mean, Corey, it eats at him because it's got him fired up. I mean, at the national championship game, when you have David Pollock, former Georgia player, Georgia alum, sitting right next to you on ESPN, and David Pollock tells Nick Saban, hey, you're not the king anymore, Georgia is, and you saw the side eye that Saban gave David Pollock, that side eye basically told me Saban is ready to get back to Tuscaloosa and tear this thing up. And that's, yeah.
I would agree because, look, right there, Saban couldn't defend it, couldn't retaliate in a way because Georgia was the best team that year. But if everything falls into place, meaning we get the right quarterback, we get the defense right, and we stay healthy, Alabama can win another national championship because the schedule is good. I mean, we get all our tough games at home. The away games are not bad at all. I think Texas A&M will probably be the toughest away game. I mean, I know Texas A&M was not good last year, but really, if you look at it, that's really the toughest away game. So the schedule is not really bad at all. And so I think if everything just falls into place, we should be in the national championship game again, if not win it.
Absolutely. Well, Corey, everything starts next week in terms of spring practice, so we'll get a chance to kind of get that bird's eye view of who's doing what, who's looking good, what does the quarterback situation look like, and we can see the philosophy of all these coaches. Appreciate Corey calling in there from Trussville. Also appreciate Real Talk with that $20 donation in the Super Chats. Thanks to Real Talk for that right there. And our topic here, Eli, we got Bama in the NFL in terms of free agency, contracts, Bama players getting paid this offseason. So how about this? Big boy Deron Payne, 4 years, $90 million for the Washington Commanders. Deron Payne got his money. Quentin Williams of the New York Jets got his money. The Miami Dolphins picked up the 5th-year option on Tua Tagovailoa's contract, so he will make $23.4 million in 2024. The Raiders franchise tag Josh Jacobs, so the running back will make a little over $10 million next season. Isaiah Boggs just re-signed with the Detroit Lions, 2 years, $6 million. Bradley Bozeman has re-signed with the Carolina Panthers, 3 years, $18 million. Bama players getting paid, y'all. These guys are getting to that money. We still waiting for the big numbers to come out on Jalen Hurts' new deal. And when those numbers come out, we will share those with you. But Bama players this offseason, get into the bag. The biggest one so far, Daron Payne, that 4-year, $90 million deal right there. He becomes the second highest paid defensive lineman in the NFL, falling just behind one Aaron Donald. And it's crazy, the Commanders franchise tagged Payne earlier in the offseason, so he was going to be set to make a little over $18 million, but Payne said, nah, bring me my real money. And the Commanders said, okay, we'll break off the bag for real for you. And they did. 4 years, $90 million for one Daron Payne. But we go to another break right here, folks, on the show. Don't touch that dial. When we get back, we wrap things up with this discussion on the Carolina Panthers. They don't need to outthink the room. Take Bryce Young with the number 1 overall pick. And we'll talk about it after this.
Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $7.95 per month, or pay $74.95 for a full year subscription. That's a yearly saving of $20. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide. Thank you for tuning in. Show your support right now by clicking that like button. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button now and enable all notifications to make sure you don't ever miss any of the best Alabama football news, notes, and information right here on Touchdown Alabama.
We're back into the action here from the break. Hottest show on the streets, in my own words, yours truly, Stephen Smith of TDA. Got my man Eli Walker in the production studio. And right now, Eli, I got to take time to say this. I got to shout out my wife right now. Shout out to the beautiful Mia Smith, who's watching the show tonight. My wife's doing a phenomenal job, Eli. She's literally texting me during the show, and she texted a photo. She texted like a GIF of like a guy behind the scenes putting all the stuff in motion, and she's like, this has got to be Eli. And I'm like, yeah, that's Eli right there putting all the stuff. So Eli, you even got some love there for my wife. So shout out to Mia for watching the show this evening, babe. Love you. Shout out to Mia right there. But oh my goodness here, folks. So we wrap this up with a cool discussion conversation. And that's the NFL draft in terms of the Carolina Panthers and one Bryce Young. So Carolina, for those of you that had not seen this or did not see this last week, Carolina made the blockbuster trade with the Bears. Carolina literally gave up 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, and wide receiver DJ Moore to the Bears to move all the way up to the number 1 overall pick, because they were at the number 9 overall pick before the trade happened. So now with the Panthers have the number 1 pick, they get a chance to bring Bryce Young to the NFC South, which has the Panthers, Buccaneers, Saints, and Falcons. Y'all get that, right? So to bring Bryce to the NFC South. However, there's some debating going on with the front office of Carolina. The owner, David Tepper, wants Bryce Young. He's in love with Bryce Young. That's who he wants. The head coach, Frank Reich, is like, nah, give us C.J. Stroud of Ohio State. So the owner and the head coach are butting heads right here. Owner wants Bryce Young, head coach wants C.J. Stroud. This reminds me, Eli, of the 2007 or 2008 NFL draft with the Oakland Raiders. You had Al Davis and Lane Kiffin. Al Davis, the owner, Lane Kiffin, the head coach. Al Davis wanted Calvin Johnson. Speed, speed, speed. That's who Al Davis wanted, Calvin Johnson. Lane Kiffin said, we got to have a quarterback. We got to get Jamarcus Russell. And they butted heads on that thing for months leading up to the 2008 draft. Lane Kiffin got the quarterback, got Jamarcus Russell. It did not work out. And that's the reason why Kiffin got fired from the Raiders. But we kind of have the same thing here, except it's not a wide receiver and a quarterback. It's two quarterbacks, where Tepper wants Bryce, Frank Wright wants C.J. Stroud. If I'm Carolina, don't overthink the room. I mean, if you gave up 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and a player, like you swinging for a home run. You ain't swinging for you ain't swinging for nothing less than a home run. Like you swinging for the Denny's Grand Slam. Like give me the pancakes, all the waffles, all the bacon, all the omelets, all the hash browns. Like you swinging for the whole thing. And if you're swinging for the whole thing, you got to take Bryce Young. C.J. Stroud had a good year last year. But Bryce Young gives you everything. I don't care if he's 5'10". He gives you everything. He gives you accuracy. He gives you creativity. He gives you timing. He gives you ball placement. He gives you leadership. He gives you athleticism. He gives you playmaking ability. He gives you everything in just a smaller package. Gives you everything. So many NFL pundits are saying he's basically a shorter Patrick Mahomes. That's what Todd McShay is saying. That's what Jamie Erdahl of Good Morning Football is saying. Both these people are saying he is Patrick Mahomes, just a shorter version. If I'm Carolina, don't overthink this. Take Bryce Young, literally. Take Bryce Young. You already got a former Bama center in Bradley Bozeman. You just paid Bradley Bozeman. Get another former Bama player. Take Bryce Young. Put some receivers around him. Put a running back around him. You got the offensive line set to go. I mean, Carolina, don't you want to get back to the Super Bowl? Haven't been back there since Cam Newton. I'm just saying. So, perfect time right here. Take Bryce Young with the number 1 overall pick. Do not overthink the room, because if you overthink the room, you could greatly regret this. If you overthink the room, it could get a GM and a coach fired if you overthink the room. Take the number 1 overall pick, put it on Bryce Young, call it a day. That's just what I would do if I was Tepper, Frank Reich. Take Bryce, call it a day. We'll see what happens on that end, though. Bama will have its pro day on March 23rd, so Bryce Young will throw then. Eli, you and I will be in the building that day. We'll be checking out that pro day. But, as always, Bama Nation, you want the best in news, notes, information, entertainment on your favorite football program, that being the Crimson Tide. You can get this by accessing the Touchdown Alabama magazine app. Now, you download the app. You download the app from the iPhone App Store if you're rocking Team Apple. The Google Play Store if you got the Android phone for your audio needs. Check us out, iTunes or Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Spreaker, TuneIn Radio, Overcast.fm, or iHeartRadio. We got you covered there. The good and gracious Lord sees fit. I'll be back on Wednesday, continuing the conversation that is Tide football. Remember, Bama fans, you can purchase individual copies of Touchdown Alabama magazine. Have those sent to your door. That link found in the description. If you're trying to get your hands on the fresh edition or print edition of TDA the magazine, here's what you do. You go to touchdownalabama.com, you click join, become a member or a subscriber today. That link in the description as well. But gotta shout out you guys, the incredible fans of Bama football, all the calls, chats, donations, conversations in the chat line. You making this your show, your network platform, channel space to talk Bama. Gotta shout out my man Eli Walker in the production studio, holding the thing down as he does here. Also, folks, don't forget the Bama Standard, streaming tomorrow. TDA's YouTube channel, 6 p.m. Central Time. You can catch Justin Riley, comedy legend Steve Brown, all SEC linebacker and Bama legend Marvin Constant, two-time national champion and USFL champion Bo Scarborough. Yours truly, Stephen Smith, will have Blake Sims, former Alabama quarterback, on the show tomorrow. So 6 p.m. Central Time, get to the Bama Standard. But until next time, folks, husbands, love your wives. Wives appreciate, value those husbands. Children, you guys continue doing the right thing, fun thing, smart thing, good thing, legitimate thing to not be bored, as many of you on spring break. Get you those 3 hearty meals a day, those 3 great laughs a day. You protect yourself. You protect the loved ones around you. Until next time, folks, your man Stephen Smith, and you've been listening to In My Own Words.